All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Coach Faust for Glenwood football. Currently has a 7-0 record heading into a big week here against the Harlan Cyclones, who are in Class 3A District 8 with Glenwood. And also, right now, they are ranked higher than the Rams in the state of Iowa. So, Coach Faust, welcome. If you would like to just, talk about, first off, to Glenwood, how you got here and what made you choose kind of Glenwood.
Well, thanks for having me. This is my fourth year at Glenwood. I think you mentioned that. Um, Had a really good experience at my first school at HST. Had always kind of actually had Glenwood on my radar. The thought of having maybe a little bit bigger school was intriguing to me, and then also the challenge of trying to build a program that was struggling a little bit. Was kind of a challenge to me, and I knew Mr. Beeson and some of the people from here, so I knew that it was a good situation, and I kind of done my research. I knew that it was a progressive community and a progressive school, and the academics and education are both important. So it was a hard decision, definitely leaving, and I have nothing against small schools. There's a lot of great things about them, but definitely happy I'm here and looking forward to continuing the journey here.
Something you have to be happy about lately, as I've been walking around the high school, is the new weight room I just saw being put up. And, as a football coach especially, seeing kids in there in the off season is what probably gets them to where you guys are at today.
Right, yeah, that was another big lure, being able to come here and be able to be in the weight room, to teach weightlifting classes. That's a passion of mine. Performance enhancement. So that was honestly another big part of it. I saw that I would probably be able to do that sometime down the road. So that was important. Love my job, being able to do that, and I think that can be attributed. A lot of our success this year can really be attributed to the work that the players put in. It's definitely not me. It's just that those guys bought into the process of really trying to get better on a consistent basis, and day by day putting in the time and effort to develop as people and athletes. So I love that part of my job. Love the facilities we have. I think when all this is said and done, with our auxiliary gym being as big as it is, our weight training facilities, and we just finished an order for some new equipment. It's top of the line. I don't think you'll find a better high school weight room in Iowa than what we have.
Yeah, we have beyond nice facilities now here at Glenwood High School, which makes great for all athletes in all sports. Going on from there, back to this season of football, biggest transition you've seen in the kids from last year's team to this year's team? I know maybe not kids, individually, but as a whole, what do you see the biggest difference of last year's team to this year's team?
Well, we've always had good players here. We've always had some players that have bought in. I think this year, that group of players that have made football a big deal over, several months is just bigger. Collectively, we have more guys that, have just taken the risk of seeing how good they can be, and that's a big risk. I think it's human nature to worry about what other people are going to think of us. It's human nature to be afraid to fail. But I just really credit it. We got a lot of guys that just said, "Hey, I want to make this right. I want to earn the right to be successful. I'm gonna buy in. I'm gonna do what our coaches are asking us to do, and just see what happens." And so I'm really excited for them that they've been able to reap the benefits of their success so far this year. And it's a consistent journey and struggle to be able to do that. And hopefully our people will be able to take away just the habits and the discipline of sticking to that process. And that's really what sports is all about. And hopefully they'll be able to take those same skills and discipline with them for the rest of their lives, and apply it to whatever they're doing in their job, families. When tough times come, I think they'll have some habits and some skills that'll help them be successful down the road too.
What's your philosophy on the mindset of the kids this year? On when have you noticed from going 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 with their confidence level of going into a game knowing that they can win this game? When right now we're at 7-0. Usually Glenwood has had 4 and 5 seasons, 3 and 6. What's the biggest difference in the mindset of the kids this year going into every game knowing and believing that they can win.
Yeah, in my opinion, you should always believe that if you put in the work and you play hard, that you got a chance to win, and you really just focus on the process of preparing throughout the week and then winning one play at a time. And if you do that, you'll be successful. But it's definitely easier. You see the kids buying in more, not buying in more necessarily, but you see the confidence level go up and up and up, and not just in the kids, but in the community and the school. I think everybody's kind of buzzing about football right now, which is neat. But yeah, winning kind of gives you that extra confidence. But again, I think it's more just believing in yourself. We talk about having faith in each other, and you got to do that even if it's not seen. Sometimes when it gets hard and other people are not expecting you to be successful, it takes that leap of faith to get out there. So I think that's real important too.
I've heard from around town, and you guys like the approach, as many coaches do, is especially when you're undefeated, take every game every week, one by one. Don't look ahead, Harlan this week from last week, or Dallas Center Grimes ahead, or even maybe the playoffs when you're sitting here at 7-0. Going back to that, do you think last week when quarterback Colton Wilwarding went down, that was a big reason why you do game by game, week by week, when you have an injury out of nowhere, just kind of have a chance to wipe out your undefeated season? But since you guys all bought in week by week, you know that you'd have a backup to, like Andrew Bloom, to be able to come in and have the troops rally behind him.
Yeah, football is it's the ultimate team sport, and it's really important that our players are consistently, no matter what their role is, they're always trying to get better at their position, so that when the opportunity does come up, that they can step up. And we had several guys do that on Friday. So yeah, football. Colton's had a great year, and he's a really good player, and we definitely are looking forward to having him back sometime. But a lot of the success he has had in the numbers and the statistics and all this statewide recognition he's got, I think is a big result of not only him getting better, but the group around him just being better. So, it's important that we all develop and get better so we can have people step up. And then same thing with our younger guys. If they wait until their junior or senior years to really start to try and get better, they've lost this window. And I think that's what the really good programs do. They're trying to develop consistently. The coaches are developing the kids from the time they're really eighth grade, well before eighth grade, from youth all the way up, going through the process of the junior high programs and then the strength training, and we still have a ways to go on that, getting kids to to really buy in that process and be developing throughout the years. But I see it getting better and better as we go through.
All right, Coach, talk about your defensive unit that you have this year. They might not have got as much credit as the offense. However, the defense has held opponents to usually around 13 points a game. Talk about your defense and what makes them so well.
Yeah, I think our defense, just having watched a lot of the teams in the district and a lot of better teams in the state on film, I think so far through this far in the season, we've performed as well as anybody that I've seen, and that includes Pella, the best team, the number one ranked team in the state. So it all starts on the defensive line, really on the offensive line too, with our success there. But Mitch Stanley, Cole Offelbein, and Kyle Griffin have all done a really nice job for us at defensive end. Caleb Sanders, as only a sophomore, has just been phenomenal at defensive tackle. Nate Serrano as well, and Quinn Baker. We've had several different guys step in those positions. We've run a lot of different fronts, just getting those guys trying to get our big guys on the field, because we do have just some really good bodies down there and good kids that play hard and disciplined and eat up double teams for us. At linebacker, John Stavis, Carter Von Essen, and Jake Clark are all returning starters for us. Just do a really good job. You're talking about guys that are strong. They understand the game really well. They can run well. Carter Von Essen, we use him a lot in some of our packages as a defensive back, and he's fast enough and good enough that he can run with people that way. Good receivers, and he's our leading tackler, been that for the last 2 years. And then we back it up with a secondary that really does a nice job locking down people in man coverage without very much help. Reagan McFarland and Corey Bertini, in my opinion, are as good as anybody at cornerback playing that man coverage. And Andrew Bloom and Josh Radcliffe have done a great job at safety. Maverick Decker, Nate Niebel have come in and done a nice job at defensive back as well. and I'm probably missing a couple guys, but it's a solid group out there, and they've continued to get better, and we're looking forward to seeing how good we can get here in the weeks to come.
Heading into the offense now, for those who haven't seen a game this year, talk a little bit about the offensive weaponry you have. I mean, every position I feel like on offense, you guys have the confidence to go to that person no matter what position they're in and produce numbers.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing about this team. Sometimes when you're calling plays, you're thinking, oh no, this play's going to go to this guy or the ball's here. Right now we're just trying to actually spread the ball out to everybody, but we don't have to worry about who the ball carrier is because we've got so many weapons, like you said, at receiver. Maverick Decker is leading the district in receiving and receiving yards, I think, receptions and touchdowns. Aaron Bertini I don't think we've even started to really recognize how good of a receiver he can be. And Reg McFarland's done a really nice job for us at receiver as well. I think last week in the ADM game, he's kind of an unsung hero because we used one of our condensed formations and we used him to block one of their linebackers when they were crowding the box. He did a really good job for us doing that. At slot back, Bloom has done a nice job for us at slot. Carter Von Essen, again, those guys they're big guys that can run, they can catch the ball, they can block, very versatile. Nate Nebel's come in and done a really nice job for us, and we just started to use Blaine Clark, who had started all year last year. I think that speaks to the depth we have on our team. Blaine was one of our better players last year, and he got a late start for us on the season, and he's just now kind of working his way in there. So Colton obviously done a really good job at quarterback for us, and then Andrew stepping in last Friday. He's not your typical backup quarterback, very good. And then again, the offensive line's been outstanding. Starts with Quinn Baker in the middle at center. Our guards, we've played 3 different guys through there. Dylan Weiser stepped in lately, done a really nice job for us. Cody Sorensen is a guy that I didn't mention earlier on the defensive line, but he's done a really nice job for us at guard. Sanders at the other guard, again, just big, strong kids that know how to understand football and like to block people. And then Serrano, Griffin, and John Stavas at offensive tackle. So, any success you're going to have depends on how well those guys do up front. And again, we're very lucky to have the group that we do up front.
All right, last but not least, heading into Harlan week, we can finally talk about it now that we're here. Rams are going 7-0, taking on a tough Cyclone Ball Club. And more than that, really a tough program in what Harlan has become. As a lifetime Glenwoodian myself, I've heard all these stories about Harlan now, but I finally see our football program turning around and what should be a great atmosphere Friday night for this town.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. This time of the year is fun as you get to the end, and there's playoff implications and hype, and everybody's there. But I think that the key for being successful and the key, like I mentioned earlier, to our success so far is just treating this game like we have all the other ones. We play 9 game seasons. You don't have to do anything special or different. I think a lot of people fall into that trap of thinking, I gotta do things different now. No, we should be practicing the same. We should be preparing the same, and just taking advantage of our one chance we get to play football in the moment. And if you do that, you give yourself the best chance of winning. You have the most fun, and then all that other stuff, the playoffs, the district championships, and those kind of things, those will happen. You just gotta focus on being a champion in your process and the way you approach things.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for sitting down and talking to us. Good luck this Friday and the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks for the coverage.